Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2025, commemorating Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 78 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030, and Viksit Bharat at 2047 as part of awareness and campaigns in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing. Before we start our sessions, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तुते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations and celebrations. Today, we are commemorating Bhutan National Day on December 17th every year in modern Bhutan, which is celebrated glamorously every December 17th. So the Changlimitang Stadium is already getting prepared. Since day before, and now today it hosted as being done in the previous years. And this has been since 1907. And this day commemorates the coronation of the first king of Bhutan, Ugyen Wangchuck, as the first drug Gyalpo. This is the reason his statue is carried during processions on every holiday. So during the early 17th century, Bhutan experienced its first unification by a Buddhist monk, Wang Nyamgal. Bhutan at the time was ruled by the Tibetan dual system of government, where Zabdrung reincarnations of mind, body, and speech was practiced, and Wang Nyamgal was the leader. During the 19th century, late the Tibetan and the British Empire had different ideas about how Bhutan should be governed. This led to an outbreak of war between Tibet and British Empire. Regional leaders in Bhutan began struggling with one another for power. This led Ugyen Wangchuck, the Ponlop of Tongsa in central Bhutan, to stand out. He united the country and built a better relationship with British India. When Ugyen Wangchuck became the dominant leader in Bhutan, religious leaders and government officials held a meeting and decided to abolish the 300-year-old dual system of previous government style of governance and establish a new. They eventually settled for monarchy and chose Ugyen Wangchuck as their king. On December 17, 1907, the coronation of the first king, Druk Gyalpo Ugyen Wangchuck, was witnessed, establishing the Wangchuck dynasty, which is still ruling today. Druk Gyalpo is the official title given to the Bhutan head of the state. It means Dragon King in Dzongkha. This is because Bhutan is also known as the land of thunder dragon, about the mythical dragon that is also the national symbol of Bhutan. Unlike the Tezu holidays, which are celebrated locally in Bhutan, the national holiday is celebrated nationally, shutting down all activities in the country, including government agencies, making it most significant holiday in Bhutan. Today is also commemorated as National Device Appreciation Day on December 17th, which is an opportunity to appreciate the devices that help us lead our lives and take steps to protect those that are most important to you. The best, most effective way to protect all of the items that contribute joy in your life is to properly ensure them, ensuring that they continue to positively impact your life for years to come, no matter what unexpected problems may arise. This year, National Device Appreciation Day is sponsored by the Transfers, a fully mobile insurance platform for Texans that provides customizable coverage in under a minute for your new or old mobile phones, laptops, bicycles, etc. Quickly, easily, and inexpensively with coverage from as little as $1 per month. So Travers has sponsored National Device Appreciation Day in order to get the word out properly, ensuring your most important belongings in a way that makes the most sense for your lifestyle. So Travers is backed by Travelers, a trusted insurance company that has been in the business for over 165 years. Today, there are many types of insurance that protect persons and property from a whole host of inclement events such as fire, weather, sickness, death, etc. While it isn't always the most exciting aspect of modern life, it remains more critical than ever as belonging became more and more essential to our lives and often more expensive. Today is also commemorated as National Maple Syrup Day in US, especially on December 17th, the viscous yet delicious condiment that is just as versatile as it is. Tasty, people enjoy it drizzled over everything from pancakes to salads. The sugary substance has more potential than some give it credit for. The origins of the production of maple syrup can be traced back thousands of years to the northeastern region of the US. There, it was first gleaned from abundant maple tree population by indigenous people. While it is uncertain as to how and why exactly the extraction process was began, the arrival of European colonists would allow for the introduction of maple syrup to the old world, and their love for the taste of arboreal byproduct was matched by their appreciation for its simplicity. And the maple sap became a key ingredient in variety of dishes. It was a popular substitute for cane sugar, as this had to be imported from West Indies region, and its ability to exist in both liquid and crystallized form made it an ideal source for concentrated sugar. The colonists' extraction methods differed from those of indigenous peoples. They would serve as a foundation for several subsequent iterations upon the progress. Some maple trees may have been even seen dozens of changes to the extraction procedures, using upon them as they continue to be tapped for the sap for more than 100 years. Today, the consumption of maple syrup is no longer reserved for chieftains or special celebratory events. It's not only used across the world, but production chains have even sprung up in countries like Japan and South Korea. Canada now produces the vast majorities of the world maple syrup supply, with its total exports valued at more than $270 million. It may have happened at the rate of molasses, but maple syrup is now known and loved for beyond the pocket of the Northeast. And in similar way, in Canada also, National Maple Syrup Day that revolves around the creation and use of maple syrup. This natural ingredient, which was created more than 600 years ago, has been consumed for various reasons ever since, as the syrup is made from the tree sap that comes from the maple tree. It is often used as a flavoring agent in breakfast items. The maple leaf is quite significant to Canada as it is the national emblem. The country is also the greatest exporter of maple syrup. Canadian Maple Syrup Day was created to recognize the syrup's origins, nutritional value, and more. With improved extraction technology, many industries emerged that developed maple syrup. By the 1950s, wooden and metal containers were replaced by plastic ones. Vacuum systems of the 21st century increased maple syrup production by multiple folds. With abundant maple trees, Canada started producing maple syrup rapidly and soon became the world's biggest exporter of maple syrup. There were different gradings of Canadian maple syrup: extra light, light, medium, amber, dark. And Canadian Maple Syrup Day was created as a dedication to this tasty syrup. In Canada, many festivals related to maple syrup are organized. The Sugar Bush, Elmira, Bacon Maple Fest, and Powsin are popular celebrity maple syrup practices in Canada. Canadian Maple Syrup Day was created as a dedication to this tasty syrup. So you might be wondering, as we have seen two commemorations in different countries, and what is the difference between Canadian and American maple syrup? Now, both countries produce high quality maple syrups. The only difference lies in the grading system. In Canada, the grades are extra light, light, medium, amber, and dark. In contrast, the grades in the US are light amber, medium amber, and dark amber. Maple syrup is enriched with antioxidants and minerals like zinc and magnesium. Sugar was limited during World War II, and people were encouraged to use maple syrup instead of sugar. A maple syrup farm is called a sugar bush with annual production of 7,908, sorry, 79 lakhs 89,000 gallons. Quebec is the largest producer of maple syrup globally. Not all species of maple trees in Canada can be used for maple syrup production. So maple syrups are used in almost all households as an accompaniment to breakfast. This day gives us a chance to recognize the importance of this tasty syrup in our diet. This day gives us a chance to do something different from our monotonous daily routine. Even if you are someone who enjoys maple syrup every day, there are still many new recipes to try. This day is also a day for learning. This allows us to learn more about Canadian maple syrup and how they influence our diet. When you dive into the topic of maple syrup, its history, you uncover many amazing facts and stories along the way. Today is also commemorated as Wright Brothers Day in US on December 17, which commemorates the first successful flights in a mechanically propelled airplane that was heavier than air. The planes were made by the Orville and Wilbur Wright on the Wright brothers in 1903 near Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. A proclamation is made annually inviting Americans to celebrate the day with various ceremonies and activities. So though this has been not a new concept in India, and India was a Vishwaguru, and we had mentions of Pushpaka Vimana in Mahabharata, Ramayana. So though it's not a new technology or new concept, but to the modern, to the world in the 19th century. So White brothers were always fascinated with similar flying from a young age by birds and like these. These brothers were two of seven children born to Milton Wright and Susan Catherine Corrigan. The family moved 12 times because of Milton's rights position, and before permanently moving to Dayton in 1884, the young Wright brothers' father bought home a toy helicopter for him in 1870. The toy device was based on an invention by French aeronautical pioneer Alphonse Pinoy. Wilbur and Orville played with it until it broke and then built their own. They created the toy as the origin of their interest in flying. The brothers' experimentation with flying was quite simple yet impressive. They observed birds and how animals change their angle of wings to make their bodies roll left or right. Wilbur concluded that this would be a great way for a flying machine to turn just like a bird or a person riding a cycle. After several weeks of delays prompted by broken propeller shafts during the engine test, the Wright brothers finally took to the air on December 17, 1903. The historic moment saw Orville and Wilbur Wright make two flights each from level ground into glacial headwind blowing at 27 miles per hour. The first flight by Orville at 10:35 a.m. flew 120 feet in 12 seconds at a speed of 6.8 miles per hour. This was recorded in a famous photograph. The next flights traveled roughly 175 feet and 200 feet by both Wilbur and Orville, respectively, at an altitude of 10 feet above the ground. So the two aviation pioneers are now regarded as the brothers who invented, built and flew the world's first successful motor-operated airplane in US. The states of Ohio and North Carolina both take credit for the Wright brothers and their world-changing inventions because the brothers developed and built in their design in Dayton, Ohio, and their first powered flight took place in Kitty Hawk, North Carolina. So this was created a friendly rivalry between the two states. Today is also commemorated as Saturnalia, celebrated from December 17 to 23rd, is a Roman festival held to celebrate the agricultural god Saturn. So it was the most popular holiday on the ancient Roman calendar and was derived from older farming related rituals of midwinter and the winter solstice, and it was the liveliest festival of the year with sounds of merriment and preparation everywhere. It would be very difficult not to take notice of the Saturnalia celebrations, even if you were new to the environment, as the people took it very, very seriously. During this time, normal social patterns came to a halt. Feasting, gifting, singing, dancing, games, gambling, decorations, and role reversals were the usual activities. So on this day, business, schools, courts, and other forms of work would stop so that everyone could join the fun. It was the best of these days. To Saturnalia is a salutation during the season. So whenever you hear this greeting, know there is an excitement in the air and it is in the honor of the god Saturn. So the colors are green and gold. Wearing these colors sends a message that you are in the mood for the season. Wear the colors of the day. Trying making snacks in the shapes of sun, moon, stars, head animals, and fertility symbols. You can cut your cookies into these shapes before baking during Saturnalia and decorate over doorways, windows, and stairs with greenery. Although garlands or wreaths are ideal, you could also add golden cutouts of sun or golden pine cones, nuts, or acorns. So all schools, courts, and business are halted during Saturnalia. Saturnalia gave people time away from all forms of work activities. This made it a good time to reunite with distant family relatives and friends. The celebration period gave people time to relax and enjoy themselves. What better way to celebrate? So with this, we shall end today's celebrations and commemorations. And we will take up any queries or suggestions. If any, the chat box, you can use the chat box. You can also fill the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of polls to mark your attendance and share your feedback for these sessions. So see you all tomorrow at the same time with the same joining link. Take care. Good night.